and it makes me make.
Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Sorry, Tina just told me her mom's in the hospital and they're dealing with different kind of problems right now. She can't make it today. We might do another show with. I might do another show with her tomorrow or the next day, depending on time. I got to do a live show tomorrow as well. All right, a TV show. So we'll see what happens. But I want to get into a few things today. I got to rush off to the doctor after it's over. But here's the thing, people. So much is happening, all right? And I'm sure you're aware of what's going on in the UFO world, and what's going on with government war and everything else. The money situation, at every way you look at it, is a big lie. What's it have to do with? Ego, power, and control. Has nothing to do with becoming an aware being, spiritual, living life as a normal person, or being compassionate. All those words don't exist around it. All right. All these people care about is making more money. The more money you have, the more money you want, which is pretty pathetic. Billionaires, multiple billionaires, and multiple millionaires have enough money for what, 2 lifetimes, 3 lifetimes, and they still need to make more. There comes a time when you should start giving back, which is pretty fast when you start making that kind of money. All right. Let me just get my chat room open. Sorry. No problem. So here's the thing. I live in the Big Island of Hawaii, and there's multiple islands here, but this is the biggest one. We have a harp system here on top of the mountain at the Army base. Sorry, there's so much noise in my neighborhood. It's crazy right now, but I can't eliminate it all. It's all outside, back my house, everywhere. But this island has a harp system on top of the mountain. The government base is up there as well. When you drive across the island, across the mountain, you can't see it because it's all underground. All right, it's a no-fly zone, so you can't go over it with any kind of plane, helicopter, or anything. I tried to when I first came here. All right, but up on the mountain, you can get to see the harp system. I was up on the top of the mountain of Maui, and you could see the harp system right there. Uh, what is it used for? Learn about it. It's the most deadliest weapon the United States has and was using for a long time. They do have multiple dangerous, horrible weapons right now. They're going to release something by the end of the year. It's incredible, I think. It's a UFO, their own. But guess what? It's going to be the most deadliest weapon on the planet. Seriously. All right. All the technology they have is going into it. It's costing $40 billion. And when they talk about deficit of money, they link the space program with war. So it's considered weapons. And all the money they want to spend, they can. They spend, and you won't believe this number, $720 billion a year. And they talk about a deficit. They talk about us owing money and borrowing money. They don't need to make more money because nobody knows how much money the United States really does have. Nobody knows how much gold the United States has. They can print as much money as they want. Who can prove that there's nothing backing it? Who can go into the mint and all these other places where the gold's stored and count it and weigh it and measure and see how much it's really worth? Nobody. And during a war, gold goes up. If they took all their money, reinvested it, they would quadruple it if that was the case. But no, they have so much money in gold, but nobody gets to see it. Even when 9/11 happened, nobody ever figured out what they did with the gold that was underneath there, where it went, how it disappeared the day before, and all that stuff. So there's so much information with so many lies around it. Nobody knows the truth. 99.9% of people have zero truth of what's really going on. I mean, there's books written on 9/11 was this and that and this and that. Well, obviously, it wasn't what they said happened. Every UFO sighting report is twisted. Even the first one, when Roswell happened, it was twisted. It went from a UFO crash to balloons. And guess what? Why I'm talking about balloons today, a month ago, five balloons were sighted, all right, over the United States. Two of them were supposedly proven balloons. Three of them were never proven of what they were. Now, that week, Hawaii put a video up of a UFO over Hawaii. The same week. And it wasn't a balloon. All right. So, that was what, a month ago. Now, as of last night, I found out a few things. First off, there's a balloon over Hawaii for a couple of days now. They're saying it's unmanaged, meaning it's not controlled by something. So the balloon staying over Hawaii for days, how's that possible? We got wind currents and everything else going over this island all the time. A balloon cannot stay there. Just let me check one thing. All right. Just want to make sure everything's working right here. Just let me put this in there. Okay, everything's working all right. So now, if that was the case, if there was some kind of thing floating around over Hawaii and they don't know what it is, why would they let it stay there? The basic policy, anything flying over the United States that's not supposed to be over the United States is taken down, period. And the same with 9/11. Why weren't those planes taken down? Why did it wait till the last minute before they decided, when they were hitting the building, they decided to take them down? Really? The government's doing things, but by whose power? Not Mr. Biden, not Mr. Trump. All right, if you ever heard of MJ-12, you should. It's MJ-32 now, but who are they? The most powerful people on the planet. They control everything. They stop information from getting out, and they do an incredible job. All right, all the truth about the moon, Mars, our ships, what's happening, wars, and everything else is completely twisted and fed to us in lies. So, are you willing to put a little time in and investigate these things? Just type balloons over Hawaii. I mean, it just came out last night. But here's the thing. I've been in the UFO world all my life. I filmed more ships than anybody else in the United States. Sergeant 18 and I. All right. We were next to them. We watched them. I was next to one by about 10, 15 feet. I was next to an alien in my house with a friend of mine. I mean, I could go on about what I actually experienced. I was a foot away from a Bigfoot. It's all real, people. And I don't need to prove it to myself. Before I leave this planet, I would like people, my friends and family, to know that they're real. Half of them still don't believe in aliens or UFOs. And they believe the lies. Oh, it was a balloon. Oh, it was the weather. It was a lightning bolt. Or it was this. Or it was that. Anything except what it truly is. Now, what bugs me, the whole UFO world is afraid of me. I wonder why. Why won't they talk to me? Not one of them. I mean, Lou Elizondo, who's considered like the top speaker right now, I've been trying to get in touch with him for a year and a half. I said, just talk to me offline. We don't have to do it publicly. We don't have to, you can come on my show, but we can do it offline or anything. No reply. Well, I joined the Skinwalker Ranch. I joined a couple UFO sites, and I'm paying bucks to be in part of them. And you think any one of them will actually comment or talk to me? Now, Skinwalker Ranch at least got back to me 3 times. Well, what do you want to prove? What do you want to say? And I said, this is what I'm trying to say. I would like to talk to somebody that's a real person and explain and give them a few hints to how to get better pictures of what they're filming and see better things. And that alone, they should be willing to talk to me unless they have their complete, I'm on the blacklist of everybody on the planet. But here's the thing. Nobody will talk to me. Nobody will get back to me. I'm doing a live show tomorrow. I'll put it up if you keep track. If you email me, hawksblood1aol.com. I'll put the link there. I'll put it up everywhere else I can as well. I think it's my time, mid-afternoon. So it'll be tomorrow night. Tina said we could do a show tomorrow too. So I'm not sure which one's going to work, if the times work out together. I mean, if not, I won't be able to do the show with Tina. I got to do the live show on TV. That I have to do. But Tina and I, we could rearrange the time frame and do something else. But getting back to these balloon things, you know, even when the triangle was over, the United States, oh, it was a bunch of balloons, blah, blah, blah. Now, John Edmund, who I made friends with, who I made him come out because he wasn't coming out publicly, claimed he killed 18 Greys. His ranch, called the Stardust Ranch, was completely crazy, more crazy than the Skinwalker Ranch is. But he was killed last year, so that whole thing kind of ended. But during the time frame, when I got him to come out, I went out to his ranch. I brought some people out there with me. We filmed aliens out there. We filmed ships. We filmed everything. It was crazy. And I'm talking about in 1 week's time. So, when you go years and years and you're still trying to get to the foundation of what they want to expose, will the government let Skinwalker Ranch show a UFO? Will they let them pull it out of the ground? Will they let them do anything really important to the max? Was I rude to them? I'm rude to everybody because they're all liars. I cannot stand liars. I will not say, oh, I love you. You're a great liar. No, I won't. Period. I'm here to put the truth out on top of all the lies that are out there. If you understand the Emerald Tablets, it explains the truth will destroy the lies in the end. Well, that means the ending of what? The ending of life, the ending of the planet, or the ending of the person creating the lies. But the lie will be exposed sooner or later. Period. Which 99.9% of people on this planet live within the lies. They don't even know why they're here. To think it's about having children, to think it's about this. The alien thing, why do they want to see UFOs if they're so involved with their life, when they're so involved with their religion? I mean, Farrakhan actually talks about UFOs in his preaching. And you use the word prejudice. White people aren't allowed in his temple when he's teaching or praying or working or lecturing. All right. I call that prejudiced. We can't do that against black people. Why does he? Well, I would call him a terrorist at one level. So people that think race is important is another lie. Race has nothing to do with reality or soul. Soul isn't a race. Soul isn't an alien. Soul isn't this, that, or the other thing. Well, it's a walk-in. It's a clone. No, it's not. Soul is what we really are as an individual. Separates us from all things and all realities. But we are all connected to God. Period. Whether we learn what that means or what it is takes multiple lifetimes. And even at that, most people will never experience it. Because once you're stuck in hell, which is planet Earth, you got these false delusions and illusions that keep you locked in here. The word karma is real. All right. Reincarnation's real. Aliens are spiritual? No, they are not. All right. Aliens have very limited feelings and emotions. Second of all, they're not here to help us. If they were, they could have helped us 100,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, 25,000 years ago, or even last year. And they don't. All right. While children and women and everything else is crashing, wars are happening, they don't help. Why would they? Wars are great for aliens because they can take as many bodies as they want and nobody can count them or even know it. Even though the United States government has their pact with them and how much they can take and what they can do and all that. All right, that's one thing. Now, people, not to get off mainstream, but Putin actually said, I'm going to repeat this a lot because nobody listens and nobody cares, but that's their problem, was on a TV show in Russia and spoke to Mr. Trump. How's that possible? It was 3 months before Trump was elected. Trump must be friends with Putin no matter what anybody says. Because Mr. Putin came out and said, I want you, Mr. Trump, to tell the world what really happened at 9/11. Does Trump really know? All right. Then he said, I want you to tell the world what you're doing with aliens. Why would he say that to Trump? Trump was just a rich person. That's all. How would he know that he was going to be president? How would he know he had so much power? Then, on top of all that, he says, we're dealing with alien races. Two of them want to destroy the planet. Why would Putin say that? Because there is a war going on, people. Not one person in UFO world can talk about it, or does. Phil Snyder was the only person that came out, and he was killed, and they said he committed suicide. Look at his body. Look what happened to him. He committed suicide. Impossible. Completely impossible. All right. I know 16 people, friends, good friends, some just friends, all gone, disappeared. 2 more in jail, 1 in prison. One was in prison, 1 was released. All right, dying. Now, the other one I know is in a nut house on Long Island. Since 96. 96 was the worst year in the UFO history. 100 people in the UFO world disappeared. All right. John Ford was arrested, put in a nut house. That's when Phil Snyder was killed. All that happened in 96. So it was, let's cover up the whole UFO world. But it didn't happen. It worked for a while. But it really didn't solve anything. It just made more people missing. But see, people in the UFO world don't even talk about that. Oh, I met with the good aliens and they're taking us here. They use the word experiencer like it's a good word. It's a lie to us and it's a lie to themselves. No alien did anything good for the human race, never gave us anything important. And when you talk about pyramids and stuff, they're not important for us and they never were. All right? Now, people think religions are important. Well, there's over 2,000. And there's only 3 really important ones because they have the highest population on the planet. Christianity has 250 billion, 2.5 billion people. Muslims have 2.2 billion. All right. And then it starts going down from there. But that's the highest percentage of the planet. And then you go into the less bigger religions, but they're considered big. I mean, Buddhism itself has less. I mean, voodoo, witchcraft, all those other words. Oh, well, they're not. They have a big following. They have a lot of people. But what is important, people? Do you listen to what's going on in the world today? Why is it being destroyed? Again, look up UN Agenda 21-30 or UN Agenda 30. It's what's happening, people. It's what's going to happen, and it's what is happening, and it's what's going to be what we're living in by 2030. Serious, people. It's not going to be anything like you expect or think. Now, Mr. Musk came on. He was on Bill Maher, however you say it, a couple nights ago, Friday night, and he was talking about different things. And he said AI is the most dangerous thing that's going to be happening. He's admitting it. And he's saying it straight out. But if you're into character, you might think I'm crazy, weird, whatever you want to think. All right. But he talks funny. Something's wrong the way he talks. And I think it's what actually dwells within inside him. Multi-billionaires have a problem. If they could live with that money and watch people starve, die, children, and all these other things die, disappear, and all that, something's wrong. They have no compassion, no love for the world, really. While him and Gates are trying to control animal farming, eliminate cows, make us see bugs and everything else. What do you think is going on with them alone? They each have their own agenda, and everything that lives and breathes has an agenda, whether they know it or not. Like animals have an agenda to survive. All things that breathe air have an agenda to survive. But thinking abilities to create. Animals don't create. They just live. All right. And we even destroy the way they live. So sure, animals are dying, being taken out of history and everything else. But here's something you need to think about. And I only came into this realization recently. I usually don't talk against the government. I mean, they're doing what they have to do for the rich people. For the rich people. occluding the underground cities they built. Who's paying for that? Where's all that money coming from, people? All right. And they're all around the United States. They got tunnels that go to other countries. You want to hear that? No, who cares? Right. It has nothing to do with you. I was a high priest, and I dealt with many voodoo people, Santeria people, even the high priest for the mob and things like that. I dealt with all that. But it's weak power. It's negative power. And God's power is 10 times stronger. All right? Just so you know. But here's the thing, people. Getting back to where I am. What are they doing to the planet? What are they alone trying to do to the planet? Every lie we were fed about pollution. Oh, it's cow farts. Oh, it's styrofoam cups. Oh, it's antifreeze. Well, Freon is heavier than air, so it can't float up into the ozone. Every lie you heard. Now, if you know anything about fluoride, it was produced, I'm sorry I'm going not directly with aliens, but here's the thing. During the war, they had tons of barrels. I mean, not tons. They had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of barrels of fluoride. And it was poison, so they had no legal place to dump it. So they brought in 8 scientists, 8 or 10, I don't know the exact number, to come up with a theory on what to do with it. They came out and said it stops tooth decay. It really doesn't, but they created the idea that it does. So they put it in water. So what's the other thing they put in water? Another poison, chlorine. Chlorine and fluoride produces chlorofluorocarbons inside your body, which is destroying the ozone layer. So what's it doing inside your body? People, native people live with nature. They didn't create chemicals and everything else to it. There's a cure in nature for any disease and sickness they got in their reality. Until the white man came into the United States and the Spanish came in and they started feeding them poison, bringing diseases from other worlds to them. Now, native people have a cure for cancer. And it became the cancer answer years later. And you can still buy that in a drugstore, a health food store. You can make it. It takes 2 days to make all the ingredients and boil them and all that kind of stuff. But, truthfully, people have no reason why they're here, so they have no understanding why they die. Or you just get, why do people 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 die? Because they got old? No. Because they inhaled diseases and sicknesses the government created? Yes. All right, people, and I didn't drink soda for 20 years, and I started drinking it recently. So I remember Coca-Cola came out with a commercial. We're going to have Coca-Cola with real sugar. You know what the newest thing they came out with? No sugar. And when they say no sugar, it just means saccharin. It means synthetic poison chemicals as sugar. There's very few sodas on the market that have any kind of sweetener in it that's healthy, meaning real sugar. Now, I debate that. Certain aliens love strawberries because they can't grow them on other planets for some reason. But here's the thing. When you come to sugar, I'm 70 now. When I was 62, when I was in school, or up until high school, everybody in school was not very sick or had sickness or any of those kind of things. And there was only about 2 or 3 people overweight in the whole school. The average diet of every child, every child drank soda, ate pizza, hot dogs, right? And what happened? Did they get fat? French fries, all those things. That was the diet of most children. Sure, potato chips and everything else, it's super toxic now anyway. But nobody was fat. Think about it. Everybody took tons of sugar in, real sugar, and nobody was fat. They said sugar makes everybody fat, so they replaced it with saccharin and all the synthetic sugars. Now, 60% of everybody in every school is overweight. Does that take a super scientist to figure that out? Something's wrong. There's a lie somewhere among that. And when you say no sugar and you put chemicals in it. Now, anything made from corn is not healthy. Sorry, people. That was brought here by an alien race, whether you want to know that or not. It's toxic. They can make gasoline from corn. Do you know that? So, it's not healthy in the body. It doesn't really digest well in the body either. Native people have been eating it for a long time. They claim they were working with the Greys, and the Greys weren't good people. They never helped the Native people, really. All right. So when we talk about what are people seeing today? Balloons floating around the planet? They're going to make you believe everything you see is a balloon. Really? Balloons don't travel at the speed of light or even the speed of sound. They can't blink lights. I mean, you can put a strobe light on a balloon and put it up in space. But balloons can only go the direction of the wind unless they got a machine pumping it and making it fly some way, like a helium balloon. Now, if that was true, if any one of them had a device, which one of them supposedly did, all right, why would they let it fly over the United States? If it was over the United States for one day, it's already sending information back to China, Japan, Russia, wherever it came from. But it can't stay in a space easily. And if it does, something's wrong. The government, every government has a policy of not letting things that don't belong there fly over them. Russia will shoot a chemtrail plane down if it flies over them. He doesn't want chemtrails over his country. He wants to have global warming. He wants to have farming all year long. He doesn't know what's going to happen either. When Mr. Gore, Al Gore, came out with global warming, he was paid millions of dollars to release that word. And nobody in government, speakers out there, they Save the Planet people, all those people don't talk about a real problem. Aliens are the biggest problem, but nobody talks about that. Nobody will. But as far as the secondary things, the weapons they gave the government, the weapons they supplied us with, and what we do with them. All right. Now, I'm going to go back to balloons for a second. There's balloons floating over Hawaii, and they just said they're watching it for 3 days now. Why? Hawaii is the first center of defense for the United States. Why would you let an unknown balloon fly over you? You don't know where it's from, who's flying it, or what's it really doing, unless you shoot it down and look inside and see what's inside it. People, you're being lied to. All right? And UN Agenda 21-30, there's only going to be one person in control of the planet. Who do you think that's going to be? Oh, it's not going to be Trump. It's not going to be any people you know right now. But who's going to be that person? Are they going to be human? Are they really? But here's the thing. When that happens, it's already predicted, and people know it, and people don't want to admit it. 90, not 90, sorry, I don't, when I came up that number, at least 50% of the United States will disappear, of the world as well. There'll be one world order. Artificial intelligence will be doing all the jobs. They do not need people then, do they? Got a car that drives itself. What do they need you to drive it for? I mean, they're already trying cars to deliver pizza and things like that already. So where do you think we're going with all this, people? Oh, we're going to have a high city. Now, artificial intelligence is created, all right? Oh, no, not by programming, not by human people programming a computer. It's artificial intelligence from an alien race, all right? They're proving it now, and we'll hear it probably in a year or so when more things are controlled by artificial intelligence. But they went to the 5 biggest computers on the planet and fed it information and say, hey, tell us what the future is going to look like. You know, they all came out with the exact same thing. How's that possible? Of what it's going to look like, what's going on, and everything else. All right? Because artificial intelligence is a live entity. All right? Which is not going to be beneficial for the human race. All right. So much for that. Now, we're dealing with the government. Now, what I came into a realization, I'm sorry I go in circles. I had dyslexia and a lot of different things. My mind's different than most people. Am I crazy? I say I'm crazy going sane. Everybody else is saying going crazy. But what I realized, what has the government always did and are doing now? They lied every which way about the native people. They killed 95, 98% of the native people. 98%. Only less than 1 million true native people are alive today. Out of 50 million native people. All right. So why are they still going after native people? I can give you all the facts about the reservations, especially South Dakota. See, the leaders, we won't take out Putin. We won't take out bad people. But when it came to the native nation, Crazy Horse was put in jail and killed within 2 weeks. Geronimo was taken on tour for 15 years as a puppet so people could take pictures of them with a savage, in their words, okay? Now, why aren't they doing that with Putin or any of these other people of other countries? Let's kill all the people. Let's kill the people. Let's not kill the people in power. Why is that? All right. They're feeding us every lie about UFOs, covering it up completely. I could give you a lot more facts than anybody else wants to hear, but not right now. But why is that? Why is the government pushing balloons on everybody now? All right. I've been doing a show with Tina for 2 years. And I'm not a funny person. I don't like to tell jokes. And I'm not a comedian, never was and never want to be. The truth isn't funny. Nothing going on is funny, people. There's a show called Ridiculousness. All right. It's on MTV. It's on all the time, half of every day. All it is people doing the most dangerous, stupidest things you could possibly imagine. They don't show what happens to the people after. Some of these people could actually die. Half of them end up in the hospital. But they don't show you that part. They just show you the stupid thing they did before it happened. It's crazy. I have somebody that watches it all the time. Every time I go in there, it's on, and I'm watching people getting hurt bad every which way. But if the mentality of people can do things like that, where are we really headed as far as thinking and awareness? Nowhere. Somebody's controlling it. Laughing is not a spiritual thing, people. Feeling happy is not a spiritual thing. Oh, I touch the light and I'm happy and filled with love and joy. And of what? Living in hell on a planet that's constantly destroying each other and everything in it? Aliens are here for a reason. Not to be friends, not to save us. If they wanted to save us, they could have saved us 100,000 years ago, instead of programming us to be everything that's bad. Killers, murders, rapists, all those other words. Sacrificing. In Atlantis, all those things did not exist. When Atlantis went down, suddenly they existed forever. Gladiators fighting existed forever. Now we got cavemen boxing. No, we got people in boxes fighting until one of them's completely out, and things like that. Other countries, it's fighting to death. Today, how many years later, and we're still barbaric. People love to go to movies like Halloween and things like that. Why? It's a sickness within the brain, not in soul, but the soul is trying to escape it. But the mind's like, no, I want to live here forever. I want to do this and that and the other thing. Everything's beautiful. Drinking, smoking, partying is fun to people that are not looking for any spiritual awareness. My head keeps twisting here. What's going on here? So where are we headed? Back to balloons. Oh, everything you see is going to be a balloon. Oh, it's a balloon. Oh, it's not a UFO. I filmed the UFO yesterday morning. I was only out there for about 20 minutes and the clouds came in early in the morning. I filmed a UFO doing something I never saw it do before. Now, I usually can film a ship going across the sky. Some blink multiple times, or I even had Morse code blink back at me and things like that. But the ship was pretty big, really high, and it was going across from my left side to my right side. And it was really big when it was over me. Within about 4 seconds, as it was passing me, it was shrinking. And there's only two things that could have been actually going on. It turned on a speed super incredibly fast. So they went like that out, or it actually shrunk. Now, we have to live by size, and we assume everything's size that we perceive. Now, if you could imagine an ant colony being a whole civilization of people, of ant people, all right? We think size matters. I mean, take a dolphin and a whale. The dolphin's brain is the exact same size as ours. Well, one fraction smaller, but they use different parts of it, but it's the same as our brain. And they're much more intelligent than any other creature, including monkeys. So, why is it the government, sorry to say, killed 10,000 dolphins a year trying to train them to kill people? Seriously. Now, the person that brought Flipper out to TV, trained Flipper, I met with him a long time ago. I actually fed Flipper when it was alive in the show and everything. And he was not aware what he did, but years later, he realized what he created. So his life is spending on trying to stop what's happening to dolphins worldwide. All right. The government came to him and wanted him to help train the dolphins. And he said, no possible way. Not that dolphins can be trained to go against their natural instinct to kill people. All the stories you hear about dolphins, they save people. They don't kill them, don't eat them, and all those kind of things. They try to have sex with people, but realize they got a very human brain. And it thinks different than fish and mammals, all the other mammals and everything else out there. But why have they been killing them? Why did they let countries like the Philippines and the Japanese kill 10,000 a week? Every month they herd these pods of dolphins into this canal and they just slaughter them all. The Philippines sell every part of a dolphin. All right, I'm not interested in whales or walruses or seals or any of those creatures. I'm concerned about beings or entities that are very much more human than we are. All right, they're intelligent. I can go into lots of stories. I spent half of my life studying them as well. I came to Hawaii to be with dolphins. In the past 3 days, I actually saw dolphin pods for the first time in months. I saw whales a couple of times, not as many as on the other island. We used to see them all the time, but the government put these black boxes near the swimming area. They're sound boxes. They keep dolphins from coming in. There's a lot of things going on. The government's doing. Why? Why is it weird things that they're doing? And what's it have to do with why? What are they creating it for? All right. The reason why I know a man that I knew friends, I had him on my show once. He actually brings people that are pregnant, that are giving birth, to the ocean. They do prayers. They have a group of people. They do all their prayers the night before they go. And when they get to the ocean, there is always dolphins there. Always. And when a baby woman's brought out into the water, the dolphins form a circle around them. Always happens. Now, they said the child born is very, very intelligent and can communicate with dolphins. The government put a law against it happening in Hawaii. I wonder why. They're afraid of a lot of things. They're afraid of psychic people. They're afraid of all different kind of words. Now, my friend Sean David Morton was put in jail, 150 false charges against him. He prophesied 9/11 in detail 1 year before it happened. Sure, they hated him. He also had to tell people how to make money. Then they got him involved with this scam that happened, and they attacked him and they put him in jail. But he's dying. He has cancer from the throat down to his lungs, and he's trying to survive, but they had to let him out of jail. But he was the top psychic in the United States as well. Somebody was talking about Sylvia Browne and saying she was a fake. No, she was a psychic. Most psychics are fake in a lot of ways. They do what they can and they improvise what they can. That's how they make their money. All right. Sean didn't go out of his way to make money off of of helping people by having a seance, not a seance, but just a channeling meeting with them or whatever you want to call it. And he donated a lot of his money. He was never a millionaire when they claimed he stole millions and millions of dollars. If he had millions of dollars, he would put his movie out. And there's a chance it still might come out now. But people, we don't look at the truth. We believe the lies, like what they put against him. In court, he was not allowed to testify for himself. He was a sovereign citizen, and he couldn't have a lawyer, and he couldn't testify. All the things brought against him, there was not one witness or one shred of proof of anything they brought up, and they still put him in jail. But they did everything they could to kill him and everything else. All horrible things. If he ever tells you the story, you ever listen to it, it's super crazy what they did to him in jail. I mean, they did everything except exactly kill him. Pulling his teeth out, trying to blind him, and all the other bad words I don't like to say too much. But he was let out. He's surviving right now. Not very good, but he's trying to. But his book is probably the most important book ever written in the UFO world. Sands of Time, the series. Read it. And when you read it, you'll understand what the whole thing is based on and how it was written and everything else. All right? And it's not a fake story like 90% of the UFO stories are. Or exaggerated truth, whatever. There are no good aliens. Show me an artifact like, here's a bottle. Show me what the aliens gave to a person. Even that. Even a button from their shirt, their shoe, their spacesuit, anything. Why is that? Sure, they said Velcro came from alien suits and different things like that. But is it a real story? How many of the stories that we hear are real and how many are twisted lies? All right. Somebody's a comedian in our chat room. When they sent potatoes up into space to see if they would grow. They sent plants and different things to see. But they give us a fake story, or they do something stupid to cover up what they're really doing. All right. Who's destroying the planet? What does global warming really mean? Oh, nature's changing. Nature doesn't change. It has cycle. Yes, it goes through a cycle. But when it goes out of cycle, something's wrong. And we are doing horrible things to make it change. And it's not on the talking of anybody out there in the mainstream talking about global warming. I mean, global sites and all those sites that get in touch with me. I said, why don't you talk about something real? Like, what's causing it for real? But no, we can't do that. Well, everything you hear, everything you see is a sad thing because it's a lie. Well, they didn't send that many monkeys up into space. All right. I had the first astronaut on my show. He was the one they created the space program for. He was on the first 5 flights. All right. So, when we talk about monkeys, they didn't want to put a human. But right now, the Animal Society is fighting over testing animals. No, let's test baby children. Let's test women to see if the drug is good or not. Which would you rather test, an animal or a human? People are so weird. Well, we got to protect pigs, and like here in Hawaii, we got to protect the roosters. There's hundreds of them around my neighborhood. Got them in my yard every day, every night. Chicks everywhere. And there's a policy: you can't hurt them. You can move them, relocate them, and things. And all the laws are different, slightly different, or not even enforced. They still have rooster fighting to the max. 2 people were killed during a rooster fight last month. So Mankind's not moving forward in any way, no matter what you believe, and science is only another step to take you further away from the truth. Serious. And if they're working with aliens, they're taking us further away from the truth. Aliens have no clue about God, death, and the truth. They do realize, I guess, slowly that they reincarnate as a human. Why? Because they have no feelings, and they need that to become aware of what they are. It's the only way they stop looking at themselves. If we didn't care about killing, we'd just kill each other, rape each other, and do everything we want, and nothing would change. But when you have feelings, you start thinking about it. But then again, who controls this planet right now, people? Aliens, and who else? Who controls aliens? Something controls, everything's always controlled by something higher than itself, just so you know that. Whether you believe it or not, that's your choice. But we're in a serious place right now, people. With this UFO world crashing down on us, growing, and I'll say it again, pull up Instagram. Look at the videos they're putting up, are incredible. I'm not going to go long today, because I got to run off to the doctors. I went to the hospital a couple of days ago. But people, the truth's out there. If you want it, I'll help you find it. I'll give you techniques to work with and things. I'm talking about truth, about why you are here, why you have to die, and what happens after. That's all that matters. Not how many children you have, how much money you have in your bank, or anything else. That has nothing to do with it. And any of that you can't take with you. So what good is it really? It stimulates your mind, stimulates your five senses, but it doesn't stimulate soul. People, I do a lot of spiritual shows on the side, on ways to become aware and things like that. But people aren't really in that vein. If I'm going to say I'm going to make you a new high fifth dimensional being and you'll be able to make money, then people care. I say I'm not going to help you make money. I'm not going to help you get a better job, because no job on this planet is really beneficial to the human race. Really. How to make money. How to create a job to make money. All right. Is it how to love each other and understand what love really means? No. If you watch all the TV shows, you'll learn everything that it is not. My husband and wife with their ex-husband or ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, all the things are crazy. Oh, greetings. Aho. There's just so much garbage going on right now, and people rather listen to the lies. The native people have very little truth. I studied half of my life. And we talk about dreams and stories. Somebody mentioned the Anunnaki. Another great, ridiculous story, people. The story of Adam and Eve was a twisted story. Every story. I'll tell you this. The story of Jesus is multiple twisted to make man happy about what happened. Man turned against him and had him killed. His own disciples. How's that spiritual? What he was teaching, nobody has ever taught. And basically, it's actually one God. All right, the idea of one God didn't exist. And the idea of what God was did not exist either. It was deities, period. Deities playing with this world. You got demons, entities, and all those other words along with it. That exists between the astral plane and this realm. And because of Mr. Tesla and the Philadelphia experiment, we screwed that up really bad. Hold on 1 second. I'm losing my voice real fast. People, if you want the truth, it's out there. Are you ready to accept it? Do you care? Or you want to follow the lies you've been programmed to live with? Well, like I said, I've been doing shows for 12 years. I worked with TJ Morris for many years. And we always had problems. I don't know if I'm going to get my voice back. Try one more sip, see if it helps. That's not slimy enough in my throat. Well, all right, people. If you want to deal with the truth, want to get into a conversation, you want a topic to talk about, death, reincarnation, and all those words, I'll set a topic up anytime you want. And I'll talk about it. Want to talk about God? Let's talk about God. Let's talk about death. Let's talk about these words. Let's talk about false government. Let's talk about MJ-12. Let's talk about the Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk Project. Nobody talks about any of that. Why? Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, the Pope, and Dalai Lama cannot talk about any of those words. Why is that? The most 5 spiritual people on the planet cannot talk about the most important things that we need to know. Obviously, the government can't talk about it. Considering the government built the White House over basically Moses' time. Why is that? Moses was the greatest black magician to live in history. Sure, there was a few other, Merlin and a couple of other major magicians that came out of the woodwork. Dr. Damas was learning, he read from books made out of skin and the magic he worked with. Enochian magic. But he had to burn all his books or he would have been killed. But you know, his prophecies, a prophecy is not useful unless it stops something from happening. Well, good's a prophecy? Oh, the world's going to be destroyed. We all know that. You're going to die. Oh, we all know that. You're going to die because you ate a pencil or you swallowed something or whatever. And if you know that on this day you're going to do something stupid, stay in your house. You don't have to drive a car, so you can't get hit by a car. I mean, this thing's, if a prophecy was really important, I keep getting this twisted. Everything's backwards on the screen, so. Why do we believe psychics are important? Oh, you're going to get married. Hopefully everybody wants to get married. Hopefully you're going to have a child. Hopefully all these things are. You tell people things that everybody wants. Money? Oh yeah, I'd love to get more money. Why? I could buy a bigger car. I could buy a bigger house. I could have more children. I could do blah, blah, blah. But I'll never understand God more. Not one psychic can help you do that either. I can go on, but you know, like I said, how many people listen? Anybody out there, send this link to your friends. Tell them I'm open for a debate with any person that's a speaker out there that thinks they have a truth or try to tell the truth about something that they have no clue about. I mean, Travis Walton was abducted. I believe he was. But he knows very little about what's really happening. All right? Or what happened. And he's trying to redo a movie and everything else. Tina, the one I do my show with, everything's different. Everything's wrong. And impossible. She's radioactive. Impossible. It goes up and down. Impossible. All right. I can go on. But I'm going to end the show on time today. Within the hour. But like I said, I might be doing a show tomorrow with Tina, which we should have done today, but she's dealing with her mother in the hospital and everything else. She's having lots of problems between her. She's always in the hospital every couple of weeks. And they won't help her, won't tell her what's wrong, what's going on. And you got to hear her story. It's incredible. And I trust her as my brother or sister, period. Probably more so than my brother, because my brother told me information 25 years later because he was in the Army. Well, I can't tell you that. Blah, blah, blah. But we talk about everything, people, what's really going on in the UFO world. I'm not into every government program. We can't stop that. I'm going to tell you this. You can stop abduction before it happens. I mean, they implant you and do all kinds of things once they get you. And it's going to be really hard. Tina has ships over her house all the time. Any night she goes out, there's ships over her. I got ships over me all the time. Like I said, I filmed one yesterday morning that did something really weird. But oh no, all they want to talk about is balloons. Now, I don't know if you heard about helicopters. There's been too many helicopter crashes. They're stopping all helicopter flights. Seriously. They're going to retrain everybody. They all have to go for retraining. But how's a helicopter hit another helicopter? How stupid can you be? It's like being on an open highway and there's a car coming down on the other road and you smash him. Why? Something's wrong. But the government saying they're stopping all helicopter flights. There has to be alternative reasons behind all of that. Sure, they're crashing, but are they telling people why they're really crashing? Or we'll get the box out of the thing and we'll see what happened, what really happened, blah blah blah. Like when something goes down in the water, we'll get the black box. Did they ever really show you the black box and what it really says and what happened? You know, the lies are incredible. And if you can't be there, can't see it, I don't know how important it really is to you. But you know, dealing with I was in the UFO world from '96 to 2001, 2, whatever. And we met, we worked and lectured around the best speakers in the UFO world. Like I said, many of my friends, the good speakers, are gone. All right. Sergeant 18, who I work with, suddenly changed his name from Sergeant 18 to Lord Sargell. Disappeared for 2 years now. Somebody said he's coming back out. Let's see what he comes out with. He suddenly became spiritual. Suddenly had a lot of money, people. Now, people like, let's say his name. Who's bringing out disclosure? All right. He claims he was offered $3 billion to walk away from the space program, the whole thing. Really? They'd give him $3 billion to walk away from the space program? They could have him disappear for $100, $1,000, even $1 million if they wanted him gone. But he's not telling the truth. He wants people to talk to aliens. He's opened up a center, a building, and all this stuff to talk to aliens, train people how to talk to aliens. And it's a big thing among a lot of UFO people. Oh, I talk to aliens. Who do you think you're talking to? If they can't come, land in your yard, knock on your door and say, could we have a conversation? How real is it? Well, there's dots over us. I see ships over me all the time. I don't want to talk to them, but I do say this. You want something from me? You give me something, I'll give you something. Period. Otherwise, you don't get nothing. All right? But these people that get abducted all the time, I feel sorry for them. Nothing good goes on in a ship. Oh, well, we sat down, we had dinner. What'd you eat? What do you think aliens eat, people? And they're going to take you on and serve you cheesecake and steak dinner? What kind of steak is it? From where? People, cattle mutilation is not what you think. Linda Moulton Howe's been dealing with that for 40 years and still has no clue. And she lies about everything she said about it. I saw 2 actually happen where I was living. A friend of mine has the film of a horse, not a cow, getting mutilated. All right? And when she went out to the Skinwalker Ranch, really? Oh, it looks like it could be a duh. You think after 10 years you know what you're talking about. After 20 years you should. After 40 years you should have a lot of proof and evidence and know exactly what's going on. Oh, it could have been an animal. Really? People, listen to these people. Why? I would debate any single one of them or all of them together at any conference in front of, I don't care how many people are there. They need the truth. They don't need these people telling stories. Michael Salla lived in Hawaii. I harassed him. He moved out of Hawaii. I didn't harass him. I just told him the truth. He kept attacking our government. I said, talk about what's really happening. You don't know what these programs are really doing. Are you in them? That's all you can do is say the government's doing these programs? Of course they have programs. The Army has programs. That's how it defends the United States, people. And that's what their mission is to do, no matter what. Not to defend the poor people, but to defend the rich people. But it's to defend the United States. And they can't save the planet, so that's why they build underground cities. People, that's it for today. I hope you got something out of today. Text me if you want, hawksblood1@AOL.com. Skype me, hawksblood11. I'd rather talk than type. Anytime, people, you got something to say it. I'm going to do a live show tomorrow. So I'll put the link everywhere I can when I find it. I got to rush off right now, but I'll get it all information together. See if I can do a show with Tina tomorrow. And if it's before the other show, I can give you the link during that show as well. People, I'm not like all the other UFO speakers. I don't want your money. I really don't. I want you to find your truth and learn why you're here. Not about aliens, not about children, not about trees or the ocean. So it leaves here. It leaves all that here. People understand that. Well, I had 5 death experiences, and every one of them was more incredible than one before it. Well, with that, peace, love, compassion, whatever you need, whatever you want. I hope you get it. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. I really appreciate that. Send this link to everybody you can. Again, got questions? Please, I'll answer them. I'll give you what I know about it, and not lies. If I really don't know something, I won't tell you. I mean, I can't tell you, and I won't. I'm not going to make up another story to make you feel good about what you said. You're not here to be happy, 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 happy. No, that's not why you were born. Your 5 senses are all senses to keep the body alive, not soul. Soul's only here temporary, but we make it permanent. People want to reincarnate over and over and over, even though they don't even know what they're doing over and over and over again. Well, till next time, people, peace, love, passion, whatever you need in your life. Hope you find it, but don't stop looking for the truth. Don't accept the lies. If you hear something, prove it. Make sure you believe it's real. Why did 9/11 happen? What really went down? Nobody knows. Nobody's going to tell you. You can read books on it. And they'll say, well, this is this, and this is this, and this is it. And there's still no proof. Why is that? All right, people. Till next time.